Now, in my life now, nobody. Ain't nobody getting 10, ain't nobody getting 5. I found a way to just keep them out. And that ain't bad business, man. Why would I? Yeah. You're not doing nothing. I'm the one got to put these suits on and turn these corners and create these jokes and solve these problems and be entertained, and not you, man. So it was a really blessing from God, man, that taught me that side of the business. And it's brought a lot more of the money to my side of the table.
Steve Harvey was on Earn Your Leisure. Such a great video and such interesting insights that he provided about business in the entertainment industry. And on this channel, we talk a lot about that. We talk about business in the entertainment industry and talk about the different perspectives. But one of the things that I thought was super cool to hear from him directly is about ownership. And I talk about ownership so much on this channel, which is all good and great. But I love how he broke it down and kind of like is giving us the keys before, back in the day, there's no way you would get this information. There's no way you'd get access to this, type of information. Hollywood was so elusive. And as he said in the video, Hollywood is a system, right? It's a system. It's a machine, and they don't want you to break the machine. They want you to follow the steps for you to be able to be successful. But thank God for YouTube and TikTok and all social media. We don't only need those avenues. Those are not the only ways to become successful. But one of the things that he pinpointed, and this is so key to any filmmaker, to any actor, to any creative, right? He pinpointed the fact that he doesn't have a manager and he doesn't have an agent. I think now he does. He kind of has an agent with CAA or something, one of those big agencies. But in terms of like a manager, because like when you get a manager, you get an agent and you get a lawyer, everybody's taking a cut out of your check. Everybody's taking a cut out of your check. And it's an automatic system. So a lot of people in Hollywood, they have to give away like 30% of their check, and they take the change. But now if you have a strong business acumen, because a lot of creatives, I won't say most, but a lot of creatives don't have strong business acumen. And it's kind of this falsehood, this lie that people try to brainwash you that as a creative, you can't have good business acumen. And that's just untrue. And more importantly, do you like money? Do you like to live? I'm not even talking about money from like a perspective of living a lavish lifestyle. I just mean, do you feel that the work that you put in, you're the one slaving away. You're the one, acting and performing. Performing is not easy. People like to act like, oh, you just like show up. It's very difficult to do what I'm doing. The energy that I'm giving to this camera right now, it takes a lot. Right? Performing is not easy. So the idea that like, I'm going to do all of this work day in, day out, and you're just going to take 20% of my check or 30% of my check for doing nothing, for doing one, like you probably spent an hour helping me out, and in perpetuity, you get 20% of my check. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. And I mean this like in a movie setting. Like obviously if you're a musician, your manager is going to be doing a lot more running up and down. But like as a movie, like if I get a movie job and I have to spend a whole month or more practicing for the movie and performing in the movie and then do all the PR. So I'm literally doing all the work, trading my time for the money. But you as the manager, all you did was secure me this movie or whatever you did. You worked in the dealings and it took you like an hour, or it took you maybe like, let's say it took you 24 hours total. And it's going to take me how many hours, but you're going to take 20% of my check? It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. It doesn't. So what does he do instead? He'll just hire them on an hourly rate. Yeah, how much time is it going to take you to do this work? I will pay you for those hours, and then I take the rest of my check. That's the smart way to do it. That's the business way to do it, right? That's the smart way to do it. Just pay people for the time that they put in. Get the best lawyer, get the best whatever, and get their hourly rate.
So when you do things like that, it obviously allows you to pay more to the people that you have. Why do you think that more people in Hollywood, the beast of Hollywood, are not taking that approach?
Well, I just think, man, you get caught up in the system and it's comfortable and it's easy. And look, man, you gotta look at some of these big boys out here. They making so much money. You look at Tyler and Denzel and Samuel and these boys and Will Smith. These dudes is really making money, man. They listen to me. They scraping it. So, and I don't really know their particular business, but if you make an X amount of dollars and off the dribble and you comfortable and you got a team, sometimes comfort, because you don't want to have, you got to get a lawyer. You do have to get a lawyer. I'm just not finna pay you 5%. Why don't you tell me what your hourly rate is, how many hours it take you to cut this contract, and then let that be your money. But you get in the TV business, it's like that. Now, I would think of Denzel, because he's such a brilliant dude, man. And his wife, Pauletta, I'm pretty sure she done sat down and figured this out. And Tyler's a gangster too. Because Tyler, I think, has done more. In our lifetime, man, in this generation, I don't think there's been anybody black that's been more successful than this dude in terms of ownership. Now, the queen was Oprah for a long time. Right. Oprah ain't no joke. But she teaches it to us. She done told me, Steve, got to get ownership. That's Tyler's whole mantra. But I think what Tyler finna do of late gonna change the game. He finna go past everybody.
And how did he learn how to do this? Sometimes in business, you just have to make the mistake firsthand. You make the mistake firsthand, like the time when I gave away my IP for free without knowing. I made that mistake for the first time. I'm never gonna make that mistake again. Unfortunately, but like, what did they say? I can't remember the saying, but if I get it right, if not, I'll write it down. But it's something about smart people learn from other people's mistakes. That's the saying, right? Smart people learn from other people's mistakes, which is better than learning from your own mistake. So you want to learn from your own. You want to learn from your own mistakes, but you want to learn from other people's mistakes. And Steve Harvey's out here telling us, guys, don't make this mistake. But just because you don't have a lawyer or you don't have a manager or you don't have an agent doesn't mean that you shouldn't strive to have access to the systems that they use to execute. So that's one thing that you need to do. I think instead of hiring a manager, an agent, or whatever, you need to somehow get access to get a consultant, maybe hire them as a consultant, hire them so you can be able to replicate the role that it takes for them to execute. I want to give a great example. And I think about the Kardashians, right? So here's the thing with the Kardashians, and I broke this down in another video. It was about how Tracy Romulus, right, is the CEO or the COO or something of their PR company. Now, see, every celebrity that you see has a publicist, but that publicist works for an organization, right? They work for a PR company. But what the Kardashians have done is they own their own PR company. So these publicists within their PR companies are salaried workers. And so everything they do in their existence is catering towards the Kardashian public image. Now, what is the difference there? The difference in that is focus. The difference in that is the Kardashians being probably the biggest public figures in the world. That is the difference. Because now they have a team that their whole existence is to craft and to work on the Kardashian image. And then when you look at if it was like a PR company that had, if it was just a regular publicist and a different PR company, that publicist would have 10 different celebrities that probably have nothing to do with you. And so their time is split up, right? And they'll just appoint one publicist to one celebrity. But no, the Kardashians have taken it a step further. This PR company they own, right? They own it, and all the publicists under this company, which Tracy Romulus runs, work for the Kardashians and their public image. So what does that mean? Why do you think all the time when they always position themselves in the press in a very strategic and intelligent way? Like, for example, I'll give you an example when Travis Scott had the whole Astroworld catastrophe, then all of a sudden they pushed Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson in our face so we could get distracted. You see what I'm saying? They're orchestrating a very interesting and strategic narrative or storytelling around the Kardashians that continuously keeps us distracted from like a terrible scandal or whatever it is. Like, you know, Jason Lee broke this down. I know I did a video and people were like, duh, no, duh. Everyone knows they have a publicist. Every celebrity knows they have a publicist. That's not the point that they have a publicist. The point is that these publicists only work for the Kardashians. And because of this advantage, they craft their image, their public image, with intricacy, with detail. And the difference is the fact that the Kardashians are the biggest public brand probably in the world right now, right? Biggest public personalities in the world. And it's because of this. And that is the difference. So my point here is, if you can hire a manager, like what I would think would be a model situation is for you to start your own agency / management company or your own company, and you hire a salaried manager to work under your company. You hire a salaried lawyer to work under your company. Maybe not. You could do it different ways. And you hire a salaried agent all to work for you to go out. And so their whole focus is you. They're not focused on the different celebrities on their roster. They're focused on you, and they work for you because they're salaried paid. You could do that. That's if you work a lot. You know, I don't know an example of somebody that's probably like a Gary Vaynerchuk probably does that. You know, someone like him that he's still a public figure, but he owns his own like media company, and that's how he would organize it, right? But if you're like more of a Steve Harvey and say you do movies, you do TV, you know, and you get this big job, maybe you get 2 big jobs a year. You don't need an in-house team necessarily. I don't know. It's up to you. It depends on the career that you're trying to craft. But like him, he just hires freelancers. Just tell me your rate and we'll go from there. I'll just pay you your rate instead of paying you a ridiculous amount of money or giving you like half of my livelihood or 20%, 30% of my livelihood just because you showed up for 1 hour and wrote a contract. Ridiculous. That's how they get you. That's how they take your money. And that's why people need to pay attention to the business of entertainment. And on this channel, I really dig deep into these topics. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. My name is Kenim, and see you next time. Peace.